We are
We're
live.
live.
Woo!
Jazz hands.
Oh yeah, fancy.
Oh, that doesn't work with the background. That's bad.
No, that's a tough one. Yeah.
You're kind of dreamy jazz hands. Yeah. Awesome.
Uh-oh.
Welcome, everyone. Yeah.
Take a moment for people to join, people to sign in. Always good to be here. How's everyone's week going?
How's everyone's week?
Spring has sprung, maybe? No?
Spring?
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm going to be really
beautiful.
My week has been so irritating. Oh, sorry. I think we're having a
No,
little bit
go
of a
ahead.
lag.
Yeah, there's a little lag.
My week has been pretty irritating, but I think the meditation is paying off. I think it's actually paying off. Like I've been meditating regularly since the beginning of the year, and I'm just like, no, like the external factors don't have to affect how I'm feeling on the inside. So I'm just doing that a little bit. It's working.
Yay.
Yeah.
I can dig that.
How long do you meditate every day?
I probably do it about 5 days a week and 10 minutes minimum. I like to do 15 or 20 because like once the 10 minutes are done, then you kind of feel like you finally got into a nice state. So 15 or 20 if I have time. But yeah, I've been wanting to get a meditation practice together ever since I was 16. Like I had this written on my New Year's resolutions since I was really young. And I've just never made it stick until this year because I did a meditation 21-day challenge at the beginning of the year and I actually paid for it. So I think actually putting money down like actually made me like think like there's some value here. And so I stuck with
behavioral science in the payment.
Totally. Yeah.
Do you say a repetitive word over and over again like they do in TM to keep your mind
focused? That? Yeah. I mean, there isn't like a wrong way to do it, but at the practice that I'm doing, you just focus on your breath and then you actually keep your eyes slightly open and like looking 6 feet down in front of you. And the idea is that you want to stay present in your daily life. So to actually to practice having your eyes open and being aware, but in that meditative state.
Right. So if you have super annoying people around you, you can just turn this on.
Anytime.
You'll look like you're present, but you're really not.
Love it.
Yeah. Just looking a little forlorn, looking down at the ground. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I think while we're just sort of chatting here, I'd love to see if anyone's out there. We can't see you guys. So if you are calling in, listening in, whatever, please tell us where you're calling from. We'd love to see that. And then I can give a proper welcome to our guest today, Kristen. I have we connected on LinkedIn a while ago, I think, and I had a probable full meltdown with you at some point last year. I was just thinking about it, I've known you for some time now, and I really trust you, and I'm so thankful for just meeting you. I think you had posted a bunch of different things on LinkedIn, and I was so moved. One of them made me cry. Solo entrepreneurship is really hard. I think I don't have a partner here, a business partner, so it's just I don't know, you second guess yourself the whole time. So I think we had some good chats in the background. So I've been an advocate for you for a long time. So I'm excited to introduce you and have this great discussion. I think it's honestly so relevant. So I guess I can start. Is that cool, guys?
Yeah, let's kick in. Let's get into it.
All right. Everyone meet Kristen. She is the founder and CEO of Phae, which is a new kind of lifelong AI-enabled guidance platform for navigating life and work. Phae helps people not just find jobs, but design meaningful, future-ready lives where work truly fits based on who they want to become and the life they want to live. Exciting. We'll get into that more later. She is a product leader, design thinker, and entrepreneur. She spent 25 years at the intersection of technology, culture, and human experience. She's co-founded multiple companies with 2 successful exits, and she's led digital platforms for both startups and Fortune 500s. She has studied design, culture, and tech across Carnegie Mellon, Harvard, and MIT. Woo. And her work spans global brands, including Volkswagen, Ralph Lauren, Estee Lauder, Citibank, and many more. And today with Phae, she is channeling 3 decades of experience into solving one of the biggest crises of our time, the broken future of work. Welcome.
Yay. Thank you for being here.
Yay.
We're excited to learn more about you and this new adventure. Another, I guess you've had some adventures in the past, but
I have. Well, thanks for inviting me on. I am so excited to be here and to talk about design and being a design-led founder. Hopefully that is something of interest to the folks that are listening today. So do you want to start with a particular question, or should I give a little bit of background? Or
yeah, I guess give a little bit of background on how, obviously I just did that one, but how did you decide to start this, I guess, and tell us more about it?
Well, I've spent my entire career building things, building digital platforms. My first job out of grad school, somebody thought I knew how to do something. And I found myself leading the design team, designing Ameritrade, which was the first online trading platform. So this was before we had any buzzwords or any of us knew anything about what we were doing, but we were making up, journeys and personas, and because, we were just figuring it out along the way. But it's kind of funny that those things have stuck, we're still doing those things today that we kind of had to figure out on our own. Designed a lot of firsts and, was part of 5 or 6 founding teams. I had this habit of attaching myself to a founder and being the number 2 or number 3 and feeling safe in that spot. Like, oh, I don't have to worry about the money. I don't have to worry about the business side. I don't, and I always felt safer there. But actually, it's funny now that I'm in the driver's seat. I actually feel way more safe steering the bus because I have control, and I've seen a lot. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly on my long journey. Right? There are a lot of lessons. So I'm going to do a side note and say that the largest group of people starting startups right now are women over the age of 50, like myself.
Right.
Oh, isn't that cool? And
that's cool.
It's funny. I often thought about, doing something before this time, but I actually feel like all the things I've learned along the way, it's so complex starting these companies. I'm just so grateful for all the experience that I've had. So anybody listening out there who's on the older side, like I am, you're sitting on a wealth of experience. So I would encourage you to think about it. I always wanted to start something, but I wanted everything to align, right? Like when you're doing a startup, you want to have the opportunity to align, the solution to align, your personal situation to align, resources, all of these things have to kind of come into alignment in order to have the best shot at building something successful. And it's funny, all you have to do is read the news, right? Oracle laid off 30 or 40,000 people yesterday. The world was in turmoil before AI, and AI is just expanding it. People, we all know friends, family members, teenagers that are so lost, right? In what they're doing with their lives and how to find fulfillment and sustain themselves. And there really just hasn't been proper guidance around that. Like I think I told you guys the other day, knowing that you're an ENFJ or knowing that you like math doesn't mean you're going to be happy as a trader, right?
Yeah.
Or an engineer. So there just really hasn't been anything to look at a person holistically. And this is what we designers are trained to do, right? We start with empathy. Like, what's the human problem here, right? The human problem is that people are on hamster wheels and people are not thinking about their own value system. They're listening to what society is telling them they have to do and be or have, right? Instead of really digging deep and understanding, well, what do I want for myself? Where do I want to live? How do I define wealth and health and all of these things? And so, my first idea was, how do we revolutionize guidance and put the human in the center, right? Really thinking at the time in 2018 about the mental health crisis and how work plays into that. And how it's really hard for people to understand and know what all the possibilities are, right? We probably have friends with cool jobs and you're like, wow, that's an amazing job. I've never heard of that before. Wow. So that was kind of like the first seed of the idea in 2018. Ooh, this is a meaty problem. I'd love to solve it. And then life happened, which included a divorce and a move from New York City to Montana. And things aligned over the past year and a half in a way where I was like, you know what, this problem's getting worse. Nobody's really attacking this. AI has shown up. And my how might we question became, as a designer, can I take my original vision and then can I use AI to build, I like to call it, Yoda. We call it Yoda internally, but like a Yoda for a lifelong Yoda that's always with you on your shoulder to travel with you from like high school all the way through your career. Because we know, it's kind of funny, resting on your laurels. Like there are no laurels. What are laurels? None of us can sit on laurels anymore, right? We always have to be hustling and pivoting and figuring things out. So what we've built and we're launching in 2 weeks is just that. We've got this incredible framework and guide that gets to know people, figures out, options that are going to fit you based on whoever you are, wherever you are, and then guides you through actual steps to get there. And, our mission is like, we want to get in front of all those people at Oracle, those 40,000 people that just lost their jobs. And all the college students that have graduated that were sold a bill of goods and don't know what to do. We have to all reorient around this new age because our systems are collapsing. So at the same time, we live in this amazing time. And I think this is great for designers. We have the tools and resources to build whatever we can imagine now. Right? So also a time of great creation. Our lives just might look different, right? The American dream, the McMansion and the BMW might not necessarily be the end goal, but happiness and fulfillment and sustainability, right? And health. So that was a long-winded way of explaining what I'm working on.
I love it. Thank you. Is there like a I know you said from 16 to throughout career, and I would assume like including anyone who's retired and maybe like trying to figure out how to
supplement
their passion from like when they were kids to now. Can you give us like some examples of, I guess maybe, I know that you said that you interview a lot of people. It's like a lot of career pivoters or maybe people. Can you give us some examples of some folks?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'll give you an early one. One of our first testers was a high school student who was a junior at a very fancy private school in New York City. And he likes to make things. He likes 3D printing. He loves cooking. He makes jewelry. And you would think he would have the best guidance in the world, right? But they were funneling him into engineering. He was so bummed going on college tours because, he's like, well, I guess I have to be an engineer if I want to make stuff. And I knew the answer, right? I had built an alpha version of Phae at the time. And I was like, Harrison, just go through this process and talk to Phae. And anyway, long story short, it introduced him to the concept of industrial design, which is what I hope it was going to do. And it did. And he was our first testimonial, and his parents wrote my first check. investment check
Oh,
because
I
it
love
changed
that.
his life. He's like, I didn't know this was a thing that I could do. I didn't know there was a difference between designing products and engineering.
Yeah.
We've had other people that have, come back and said, I have clarity, a woman named Cheryl in Maryland, she spent $3,000 on a coach. Not that coaches are bad, but the problem is the algorithm of matching the complexity of who you are to what options exist. That is a perfect problem for tech to solve if you do it right, because none of us know what all those possibilities are. So we have people that have tried every angle trying to figure out, how to pivot, right? Or how to do something that they love. And, someone like Cheryl spent her career in education, has master's degrees. She's like, I'm 45. I don't know what I can do, and now she's on a totally different path, right? She's doing like educational development in like the private sector now. So it's just really cool to see how it opens doors for people and how they feel incredibly understood. So if we can do that for everybody, right? Especially people right now that are somewhat in urgent situations, right? How do you provide stability and hope at the same time? A lot of times you need two workflows for yourself, right? How am I going to pay the mortgage and get health insurance? And oh my God, I'm going to go from an executive job to working at Trader Joe's. But it's like, all right, I'm also going to pivot, right? So I'm working on sustainability and also getting into something new that I really am interested in at the same time. So that's what Phae is really good at, is walking with you and helping you get through those situations and destigmatizing those situations, right? Like a high school kid that decides not to go to college and go into a trade. I have a son that did that. He's at, I call it race car school. He got to Brown, but he's off in Ohio building race cars. And I'm thrilled for him. I'm thrilled that he's not in tech right now.
Totally.
Right. And what I love about Phae, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to interject and say what I really love about Phae and what you're building is that it just goes to show that sometimes those little unlocks can just change a life so fundamentally, right? It's like easy for the four of us, we're in design, easy for the four of us to say like, oh yeah, of course that guy should be an industrial designer, right? Like it's easy for us, but if they don't know what they don't know, and they don't even know that's available to them, and it takes a little unlock for them to see that, that's like an entire life that's not wasted being miserable.
Right.
I know.
Going down the wrong paths, maybe.
Exactly.
Totally. And I would
that
say,
kind of shift. It just,
so getting back to like design, because we're talking about design on here, is it's been fascinating as a designer going from designing, complex interfaces for alternative investing and X, Y, and booking tickets and all those kinds of things, right? To Joanne, I loved what you said, is like unlocking things for people in a totally different way. Like Phae has like a couple marketing pages and then a dashboard where all this stuff happens, right? So it's like a one pager.
Love it.
And the design, and I think it's interesting as designers now, how the design thinking piece, the critical thinking, the connecting the dots, the things that we're so good at are becoming more and more important, because this is what we're designing now. We're designing moments of joy and insight and, unlocking things. And, my journey over the past year and a half has been thinking about how do I build a framework and basically an instruction set that really, really great programmers can, put into agents, right? So that they behave in certain ways, so that these things happen for people, right?
Yeah.
So it's a totally different. If I could encourage designers who are listening to, think about where they can build their skills, I think behavioral science
Interaction patterns.
Is a huge piece. We're already trained to think in that way, but I think even more so if we're gonna put our stake in the ground and have our moment in our spot. I think there's a tremendous opportunity for designers with that skill set.
Love that.
And do you think that designers, there's certain types of founders, right? There's like the product background founder, the engineer founder. I think now with these advent of AI tools, what we all discussed the other day when we had our little pre-huddle session was like, what makes a designer particularly well suited to be a founder? Like, do you think that's true, first of all? And if so, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think the barrier to making things is so low now. There used to be more of that assembly line process where, we would design beautiful files and hand them off and hope that, an engineer got the right font size, right?
Yeah.
When it came back to you and you're like, no, it's not that. That space is twice as big on my Figma than it is in yours. So anyway, no, I think I did a post. I'm so excited about talking to you guys about this because I did a post maybe 4 or 5 months ago. And I was just like, man, we need more designer founders. Like, I don't know if designers really realize the powerful skill set that they're sitting on in this moment where, they can actually go from idea to launch or idea to build on their own. They don't need to, I attached myself, I was like the startup barnacle, attaching myself to business people, right?
Little Elizabeth Gilbert in there.
Out there that can help you figure out the business. Like you get great advisors. They'll help you with your numbers. They'll help you with all that. Like you surround yourself with the people that are good at maybe those other things. But if you see a need and you have a great solution for it, like now's the time. The barrier for designers to lead is, it's dropped. So I'm excited. If there's a company that comes out of this podcast, I would be psyched.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
I said to you the other day, and I'm available. So reach out.
I'm seeing Ian Alexander, Leslie Hampton, and Dan DiChiara. So hey, if you guys open up your own businesses, hit Kristen and us back.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I love that story about the high school student and the industrial design. Actually, brought a little bit of a tear to my eye. I used to volunteer or mentor high school kids up in the Bronx, and I remember sitting with them trying to help them. A lot of these students didn't really have that support at home to figure out where they should go or what they should study, and it was all about money or easy or I don't know, just achievable, I guess. And so I just remember sitting with my mentee going through college applications, and she was just so didn't want it, so checked out, but it was so also really important also to sort of get her as a first generation. And I wish, so I'm always thinking of ideas. Would it be trying to get in with the school so that they're offering it to their students in 10th grade, junior year, or just in front of families, or both?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that, go to market for a startup is one of the most excruciatingly painful components of running the business, because especially with a TAM like we have, and for those of you that don't know what a TAM is, it's your total accessible market. It's all the people out there that are potentially going to use and buy your product, right? Yeah. There are 150 million people in transition right now. And it's a multi-billion-dollar, career services is a multi-billion-dollar industry, right? Wow. Coaches, career counselors, our TAM is everyone. And I actually kind of have that as a joke in my investor deck, because you never want to say that to an investor, but it's actually true. So for us figuring out with our scrappy little team, we're a 3-person team with some incredible coders in Dubai. You can build an incredible platform. Like that's a whole other topic, what you can do now with like a small team and great tools. But yeah, so our go-to-market, we're really going to be focusing on, even though Phae works for everybody, right now, the people we think are going to buy are people who are in jobs who are terrified of losing them, and all of these people that don't have jobs. And that's a big category. That could be recent college graduates or people that have been laid off. And there's an interesting B2B wedge in there. There is a territory for us that's very, very interesting, which we call offboarding with dignity. We don't see offboarding with dignity. We see emails at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? With nothing. For $15 a month for 6 months, Oracle could have offered everybody Phae with that email. Imagine what that would have done for those 40,000 people, to give them something that's going to help them navigate this, right? Waze is a great example. I came up with that the other day. We designers always like to have our analogies, right? Like Phae is kind of like Waze for your life and work, right? And right now it's the thing that can help you navigate around that train wreck, that giant pileup on the interstate, which so many of us are experiencing. So, we're looking at where can we enter the conversation? Reddit. Everybody's talking on Reddit, LinkedIn. We have a very provocative kind of Apple-esque 1984 campaign, black and white, kind of going after the tech bros, not directly. Although if you look 2 weeks ago, I put a big black and white picture of Zuckerberg up there. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I forget which one it was. I had, maybe it was Elon. I did one day for myself, for all the tech bros, and Elon's was, not everybody has a rocket ship to Mars for when it all goes to hell in a handbasket, right? Yep. Right. So it's interesting. Know who your enemy is. So, so we can't do that because we'll get in trouble and we'll get sued, but I can talk about it. But we can show a picture of a bunker and say, not all of us have a bunker in New Zealand. Phae is for the rest of us. I like that. So we're doing some really provocative, we're doing some kind of provocative ads. So lots of testing, lots of scrappiness right now.
So you're interviewing them.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was going to say, what I love about it too is that it's really putting the human first.
Yeah.
Right. It's like all this dehumanization around the, leaving without dignity, the people getting fired without dignity at these 6 a.m. emails. It's like, how can we instill dignity, humanity in these interactions when I feel like so much of what's happening in the world now with technology is that it's like, oh, give it to a bot. Like, oh, okay. Like now we don't have anybody you can actually call if you have a problem with something. Like now you have to go through some like stupid phone tree that a bot is, the holding you hostage and you can't actually get anything done. So I love this.
What's fascinating is I read a story. I forget what company this was. And I don't even understand how these huge organizations are operationalizing AI so fast. Like, I think the layoffs are not, people attribute them to AI, and some CEOs are saying, oh, we're going to automate this. But I also think that there was a lot of, there are two things. I think there was a lot of over hiring at the toward the end of COVID. And I also think there's this lemming mentality. There's a huge lemming mentality. It's like, oh, these big companies are laying people off, so we should too. And it's also, they're manipulating numbers, right? Amazon laid off a whole bunch of people. And I don't know if you guys follow Scott Galloway, but I remember him saying, invest in Amazon this year because they laid a whole bunch of people off. but it's manipulating their numbers to look more profitable. So there's just like, it doesn't matter really at the end of the job. At the end of the day, if you lose your job, it doesn't matter really the reason. I think that again, going back to like what's hopeful right now is we're living in a time where you can have more autonomy and you can build and create and generate your own income. And I think if anybody's poised to do that, it's designers.
Right. Totally.
You know? So if anybody's poised for sustainability and survival in this age of chaos, you know, it's designers.
Yeah. I mean, I think like we've talked about this, and this has been like a conversation before, but we are in the age of like everyone should have like a side hustle and like a different sort of other, it could be like a you 2.0 and like doing something completely different. But with these layoffs, yeah, as long as we're not taking it personally, obviously it's hard. It's a big change, especially no matter how long you've been at a company. But I think I tell everyone, like, what are you doing on the side? Like just anything, build something.
Yeah, it's true. And I think there's something that you brought up, Erica, the other day that I wanted to bring up too. And you were saying, you know, when you guys are working with designers, a lot of times they're saying, you know, I just want to be in a role where I can design. And you were saying that, you know, maybe the hesitation on the part of designers to, you know, start companies is they're afraid that they're not going to be able to be hands-on.
Do the work.
And I wanted to stress in this call that I think it's the opposite is true, because everybody's talking about the $1 billion company that's going to be started by one person.
Right.
You know, I'm launching Phae, and like, honestly, I've spent 27 years building stuff. I cannot believe the complexity in what we've been able to build as a 3-person team.
Wow.
And I designed all of it. You know, the brands, like I am hands-on in everything. And I think that's why I love this work so much. I'm the happiest I've ever been because I can be strategic right up here and I can also be hands-on. And I think that's the beauty of now is that you don't need like 500 people and you don't need to be a cog in a wheel. So I think, again, designers can kind of keep that maker mentality and understand that they can stay hands-on, right?
And can you break that down for us, Kristen, like in terms of like what tools you're using? Because it sounds like it's, you know, you're a pretty small band over there and you're able to, you know, build this complex platform, very powerful platform with very little resources. So what are you using exactly?
Well, I mean, we have like a suite of things, and we actually have a tech stack that will come more into play when we launch. There are some great tools out there, but we've built Claude. Claude launched, and I'm not even going to know the name of it because we just call it Johnbot, my CMO.
Yep, love it.
My CMO, like he built this layoff tracker the other day. And this is so cool. So most states require companies to publish legally. They have to publish layoffs of a certain size before they do them. So we talked about offboarding with dignity. So we have a bot now that just Monday, Wednesday, and Friday combs 50 states to tell us what companies have filed for layoffs over a certain size. So we can go and auto target them, right?
Wow.
For like offboard with dignity. We also have bots that we've built to go find the president and the email address of every single PTA across the country.
Wow.
You used to have to pay to email a list like that would have cost you $500,000.
Wow.
To rent a list, right? Same thing with investors, like find the investors, find all the angel investors in the US that might be interested in this or family offices. So Reddit monitoring, like alerts, like who's talking about this? Where can we enter the conversation? So all of those types of things, you know, that's more kind of on the marketing side. On, you know, we have a classic tech team that kind of takes our requirements, but I'll tell you what it's like. Like I can write a spec and say, like I did it yesterday. I was like, you know what, before people get to the action plan part of Phae, one of the things that's important to understand is where do people get their energy to move forward? That's one problem that we see. And of course, a lot of this is studying and understanding behavioral science. Like, where do people get motivated? And why are some people like myself, like I'm like the Energizer Bunny. Like, I don't understand people that can't get shit done, but not everybody is wired that way. So like, so I kind of wrote a description of, you know, a little energy module and how I want that to integrate into Phae and like be a part of check-ins and how we're going to motivate each person differently. You know, I had my Claude, you know, I have Claude trained, I have Claude projects, right? Trained to help me do different pieces of work. One's product, one's brand, one's investor outreach. So, you know, I shipped that off to them and they're like, oh yeah, this will take two days and $1,000.
Amazing.
To get done. Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Imagine like some of this stuff, right? What it would take.
Yeah. The game's changed. The barrier's lower and
it's
totally accessible.
For someone like me who's impatient, like side note, I did a year of my master's in architecture. And what I didn't, if I had Phae would have said, you know, Kristen, you're like one of the most impatient people. You're going to hate being an architect. And I would have had that year of my life back.
Thank God it was just a year though, and not a lifetime.
I know. Oh my God. I was like, wait a minute. It's 99% of technical construction drawings. And I don't care about the weight of the books going into the library. I just want it to look good. Yeah, it was totally the wrong profession for me, unfortunately. I can still design buildings in my head, but doing it as a career would have been a train wreck. Anyway, I don't know why I went off on that detour.
I would have loved.
Oh, maybe it was because these tools, like they work at my speed, like my fantasy speed. You know,
which is go, 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 go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of addicted to like making stuff happen. And I've actually heard that people are the productivity is increasing so much for people who learn these tools and they're enjoying the work so much because they can get so much done faster and it's fascinating that, you know, they're not actually getting more time back to go on a hike at 4:30.
Do you have energy all day long?
Huh? Oh, go ahead.
What?
Do you have energy? Like, are you like a morning person? Do you get stuff done at night? Or are you like all day?
I'm kind of all day. Yeah, I'm all day.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, as long as I have my 4 o'clock sugar, I'm good.
I'm thinking of people listening and they're like, okay, I want to be a founder. I'm a designer or whatever discipline. I'd like to be a founder. But maybe I'm not like the Energizer Bunny. Like maybe I have like a more kind of, so maybe I'm a slow burn as opposed to like a quick flame, right? Are there particular personality or just types or skill sets that you think make for an especially good founder? And can those be a pretty broad range? Because you've done this thing. You've done founding.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the thing for me that stands out the most, well, there are 2 things is, I think in the startup world, there are so many distractions, especially if you're in New York or San Francisco. Like we didn't talk about this, but I live an hour outside of Bozeman in Montana, and my big distraction are the antelope that I sometimes see. And I think going back to some of my posts, Erica, I don't know if you ever read the one where I was like, I have to remind myself that this is like launching a sandwich shop. because
How so? What do you mean?
well, here's the thing. It's like, oh, it's like there's so much like cachet and like, oh, startup, founder, tech, this, that, venture money, events. Do you know this person? Like, there's so much freaking noise out there, and there's like, oh, you have to be doing this or you have to be doing that. Actually, you're starting a freaking business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's no different than building the corner sandwich shop and making sure you have the best freaking sandwich in a 20-mile radius that everybody wants to come for, right? It's a business. And all this stuff around like startup founderhood, and you have to go get money from Andreessen Horowitz or Sequoia, or you have to be a Y Combinator. Like, I'm not poo-pooing that. Like, that's all great. But at this stage, the best thing you can do is find a human problem, figure out how to solve it in the best way possible, and get it into the hands of those consumers. Just like getting that best sandwich into somebody's mouth at lunchtime.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that. I love it. So back when I used to work at a staffing agency, when I first started out, so this is like 20 years ago, and I used to smoke cigarettes. And so me and my little partner at work would go outside and smoke cigarettes. We're right in Midtown, and we're just seeing all these skyscrapers just filled with businesses. And we're like, those were each an idea by one person that just went for it.
Yeah.
Right. They're all just like, they're just a glimmer of an idea. They just went for it. Some are, better than others, or they're more applicable for more people than others, but people just freaking did it. Right.
Right. All you have to do is get in your car and drive through any town, and there are businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
some have
so
like really crappy graphic design, like they have like really crappy branding,
and
but they
they're
well because they're filling a need, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, one of my ulterior motives is, and I don't even think this is a problem anymore, but like destigmatizing trades. Like, everybody's saying like your best bet to make 200K is right now is plumbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a big discussion.
Like, it used to be, when I was a kid, it's like, oh, you're going to trade school. It's like, oh, because nothing else is for you. And you have to, and now it's like, no, you can be really freaking smart and read Freud and also be a plumber and have a band,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
all my friends I went to high school with, they were all the ones that owned houses first, all the trades.
Yeah.
Right.
People, electricians, carpenters.
Right. And then they buy real estate, and then then you're like, crap.
And
a head start.
And they have work-life balance,
Yeah.
They don't have emails.
One of my fantasy board members is Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs. That show on Netflix. He's kind of the voice of the trades.
Love it.
I'm going to go find him sometime after launch because I want for anybody, like even somebody who's had like an executive level job, like go get reskilled. Like I know a product manager who I worked with at my last startup that kind of crashed and burned. And he's like, you know what? I'm just done. I'm going to go get certified. Like, I'm really handy.
Yeah.
And he's like doing great, and he's happy.
It's awesome.
I have so many stories of that. I have so many people who stopped.
Yeah, you're gonna come work for me and be my podcast connector.
There you go.
I can give you millions. I have so many stories, and I love these stories. They just make me feel like just so good, I think, inside. I don't know. Come from a family of doctors, so that's probably why. But I feel like me helping people and connecting people. Like this week, I just connected 2 people who both live in Denver. It's like, you guys are both really cool. Can you be friends? And just like, that's what I do.
Yeah.
But
yeah, exactly. It's interesting that you just brought that up because so the next thing we want to do with Phae, now that we've built out kind of the AI component and kind of the coaching component, is we want to build actually my brand guru who works with me, John Ebeling. I was calling it the mentor marketplace this morning. And he's like, no, Kristen, I found an F word for it. He's like, we'll call them field guides.
Nice.
HIELD. We'll call them field guides, not coaches, right? The next thing we want to do is have a two-sided network with a field guide marketplace where we can connect people, and these field guides can either volunteer their time or monetize their expertise, right? Because we all need new ways to monetize our expertise. So the second part of Phae is, hey, you're looking to pivot, or your mom looking to get back into work after taking time off, or you were just laid off from Oracle, or you work in this field, or you're thinking of being an architect and you want to talk to one or two.
Mm-hmm.
They introduce me. I call it the I know a guy. I should just call it that. The I know a guy function. Because I just imagine these kind of older dudes with plaid shirts and hats. Maybe it's because I'm in Montana. They're sitting around a table. And one of them is like, hey, Bart, I just bought an old Shelby Cobra and I want to fix it up. And Bob's like, oh, I know a guy for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how networks are supposed to work, right?
Totally.
So if Phae is built on this framework of understanding and we understand people really well, we can do that. And then what we can do is we can build out the company side, and we can say, we can support you guys in your work and be like, hey, these are people that you should know, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you guys. Well, I'm sure I'm like preaching to the choir for you guys, but like, I don't think I know 99% of the people I'm connected to on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you do because you're in recruiting, so you talk to these people all day long, but I'm like, I don't know why I know this person in the Philippines.
Right.
I don't know.
Totally.
Yeah.
I used to be so precious about it. I'm like, I'll only link in with you if I've met you. Like, we have to have a conversation. I want to keep it like full of like actual first connections. And then I think like 4 or 5 years ago, I was just like, nah, if it's going to open up more connections to more people, that's kind of the point of LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe the functionality or like the purpose of LinkedIn has slightly changed too. So
but it also makes me think about you guys and your work. Of course, my mind is always turning like, how could Phae support Joanne, Jared, and Erica as recruiters? Like, if Phae knows people just way beyond, and now everybody's like running their CV through the algorithm every 5 minutes to the point where it doesn't even reflect them. Like, and with design, it's so nuanced. It's so much about the person. Like, maybe it can help you find the right candidates faster for your clients.
Yeah.
So much to think about, so much to design. And this is design, right? This is another point is systems design, right? Human design. It's way beyond just designing screens and buttons. Now it's thinking about community, interaction, behavior, connecting the dots.
Yep.
That's design with a capital D, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I mean, we're all like connectors, right? That's
right.
A good recruiter is a connector. And I think even at our like IRL events that we do, Joanne, like she always has friends, or we're like, we should be friends with each other. And like a lot of them go home on the subway together and they all like become BFFs after that. And I was literally talking about this on Friday with somebody else. And I was just like, I feel like I have really great conversations with my designers, with my network. And like the feedback is always like, oh my gosh, this was such a fun call. Like, thank you. Like, you're not like a normal recruiter. You're just like fun. So I'm like, should I just have like a like office hours or like Erica's friends, maybe just call it Erica's friends. And then people just like come hang out and then I like introduce them all in the place. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I love that idea.
I think you should do it. We're actually talking about doing that with Phae. I don't know how often we're going to do it, but meeting people in this moment, this crazy moment of work, and just being like, hey, we're thinking about this problem every day. Come hang out with us for an hour and let's talk about how you're feeling and what you're thinking. And it's also great for us because it keeps us close to our audience, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of audience, that's a segue if I ever heard one.
Hello, audience.
So I just want to reach out to the people that are on the call right now. And, this is your kind of final 8 minutes of opportunity to ask Kristen any questions you might have around anything we've been talking about Phae, about starting a business, about being a designer founder, bringing the humanity back, anything. Or just some comments if you're just kind of, liking what you're hearing, or you want to start a little fight, you want to give your hot take.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're open. We're here for it all.
Unfiltered.
Yeah.
Why don't we ask people like that question that you had about, I guess, like if you could do anything today or start a business of some kind, like,
Yeah.
what would it be? Or if you had Phae when you were younger, where do you think, would you be where you are, or would you be
totally.
someplace
Yeah,
else?
I think you designers out there, you've got to be thinking about, I have the graveyard of ideas.
Yeah.
I prefer the word womb for your graveyard. I think the womb of ideas, because maybe they're just not birthed yet. Maybe they're just gestating.
Yeah. They are gestating. Yeah. Yeah.
Like when I was in college, I went to Syracuse, and I love Syracuse. I went there because they had 20 plus different art majors to choose from, and then I had to choose after my foundation year. So after foundation year, I chose advertising design because I thought I liked, iPhoto on my computer back in the early days of the early 2000s. And I hated advertising, but I wanted to just be done with school. But I took hospitality classes and hotel classes and some industrial classes, and I was like, oh, I can switch. But then switching was more years in school, and I was like, oh my God, I have to just end. And I would have so loved to have this and gone into, because I have a friend who went into hotels, like hotel design.
Hospitality, yeah.
Yeah, and he had this amazing life, sort of all over the place, and it's I just still love what I do, but it took me a really long time.
Dan submitted a question. When you talk about creating an org based on an idea, how do you balance sharing and secrecy so that you don't give away the idea before you've executed and developed it to a point of making it real? I think that's a really good question. I would talk about the problem that you're solving more than your solution, Dan. And just, super high level. Like, I see this problem, it's real. I have some ideas about, how I might go about fixing it, or give a high level. But even to describe Phae at this point and everything that it does, it would take a long time. So, and I also, I've been pretty open about what I'm doing, but NDAs are good. NDAs with DocuSign if you're gonna show people stuff. So yeah, and I would also say depending upon the complexity of what you're doing and how easy it is to build, right? Keep it close to the vest and just talk about the problem that you're passionate about until you have a moat. That's what everybody's talking about now. And that was, for a long time, that was one of the biggest questions I got from investors is, what is your moat? Why can't you do this with GPT? Right. And I finally kind of got past that. I was like, okay, it's the opposite of GPT. It's designed to ask you questions based on a framework, and it's contained and it's private and has memory. And I finally got to the point where I was like, look, I'm not building an AI company. I'm solving a human problem that uses proprietary AI to solve the problem, right? But yeah, I would say, given that with vibe coding and all of the easy ways to kind of get things done, talk about the problem. And then when you have something, Then when you have something, that you feel like has a significant moat, then be strategic about who you show and how.
Yeah.
Time
for one more here from Laura.
Oh, there's Laura. Laura, I can't answer that because we're launching in 2 weeks. But connect with me on LinkedIn and we can stay in touch on that topic.
And the question, just to be clear, is
I'm sorry.
Yeah. How did you scale your users' position without spending a lot of money on ads? I'm a designer that launched a side hustle, and ramping up sales is what I'm after.
Yeah. I mean, so one of our secret sauces on our team is that John O'Toole, my CMO, and I spent 7 years at a company called Buzz Agent, which was the first word of mouth marketing platform, pre-social media. Before Joanne, Jared, and Erica were born, I was running the first word of mouth company.
I think you and I are more similar in age than you think.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm happy to talk to you about that offline. I'm happy to connect, Laura. But, for what we're doing, we've tried to build in virality as much as possible. Joanne talked about those moments of joy and those aha moments. So, we have this beautiful DNA snapshot that's an HTML generated page that when people get their first report about who they are and where they'll thrive, it's beautiful and they can click and share it, right? Mm-hmm. Like this is also one of those people what do you talk about with your friends? Your life, your struggles, your problems. If Phae's truly helping you, people are going to talk about it. So fortunately for us, a lot of our strategy is around making sure that the product delivers, that there are shareable moments, that we're building and sharing. And then, we are entering the conversation in the right place. So Reddit. Just on cue, I love this. I kept saying, man, I wish you could advertise on Reddit. And like 3 weeks ago, they launched their ad platform.
Okay.
Yes.
Ask and you shall receive. Nice.
I know. I was like, they knew that Phae was coming. But yeah, I think, and happy to introduce you, Laura, to our CMO who's built all the Johnbots, which are super helpful. But there are so many great tools out there to kind of find conversations and automate things. Obviously, I have no idea what you're creating, so it totally depends on that. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, listen, we're at time. We have 1 minute left. So, Kristen, is there any sort of parting words you want to give to everyone here on Design Unfiltered? As little parting thoughts?
Yeah, I hope you all start companies.
Yeah.
I hope you all start companies.
Let's do it.
Yep. Let's
Kristen,
start a movement.
Are you still looking for people to interview for like any case studies or anything like that for your tool?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We love talking to people all the time. One of the things on Phae, we didn't get super far. We have about 50, but we do want to have videos of people talking about their jobs and their career journeys, across industries, because it's always great to hear from the horse's mouth what it's like to work in a certain field. But also people who are working on interesting things and pivoting and all of those things. Yeah, we're very open to that.
Great. And how should they reach you? On LinkedIn or?
They can reach me on LinkedIn or Kristen, Kristen @phae.com, PHAE.
Okay.
Love it.
.com. Do you guys remember pets? Pets.com?
Yes, I was just talking
There
about
you go.
pets.com. Just
No.
actually.
Oh,
I don't know, maybe.
Pets.com.
Yeah. They were like the first branded box. It was like pets.com, diapers.com.
I still have my box with my dog in it somewhere.
With your dog?
My pets.com dog. Yeah. They're yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah,
could
they
actually
have
buy
a dog. Yeah. It's like your
I
dog.
have a dog in
This is something
in
I
a
don't
box.
know.
in the pet stuck on box.
I
See,
love
this is really aging me now.
No,
So-
I love it. I totally get it. That's great. Well, thank you
I
so
love
much.
it.
Dinosaur tattoo right here.
No.
No.
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
It's so great to have you. Thanks for coming on.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So great. Thank you so much.
Take
Yeah,
care.
Bye, everyone.
See you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.